Centrifugal blowers serve many, many functions in a wastewater treatment plant. But one of the worst things that can happen is an unexpected mechanical failure.
Oh yeah? Watch this.
And of course, it never happens at 8 a.m. on Monday when everybody's here. It happens at 12 a.m. on a Sunday when only the on-call operator and mechanic have to get together and figure out what in the heck just happened.
PC load letter? What the f does that mean?
And like I said, they serve a lot of functions. Like in my plant, we use them to keep our EQ basin mixed, to provide an air scour for our membranes, to provide oxygen for our aerobic secondary treatment processes, and also to scrub odors on our odor scrubbers. And that gets me to today's video. I have a blower in this plant that's starting to make some rattling sounds. I'm gonna go to that blower here after this segment and explain what's going on. We're gonna go ahead and replace that blower. I'm gonna break open the volute so you can see how these centrifugal blowers actually work. We'll put the GoPro on, I'll take you on a journey there. And then we're gonna come back to this blower. And I'm gonna explain what you're seeing. This is actually a blower that's providing air to my MBR. And I'll explain all the different parts. And then we're gonna go to the whiteboard and do a grade 5 level math problem. This is your most advanced tests. If you're not in California, this is an advanced math problem where we have to determine the SCFM set point for our blower based off of a lot of different variables. Welcome to the Wastewater Enthusiast. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe so you're notified of future videos. If you get anything out of this video whatsoever, throw me a like. Let me know this is the content you're looking for. And with that, let's head over to that scrubber and take a look at that blower. What you see next to me is a centrifugal blower on our odor control scrubber. This is a muffler. It's not a big cannon, it's a muffler because there's houses right over there and this thing makes like jet engine noises when it's not on there. So this blower has started to make rattling sounds. It's in continuous operation and it's been running for about 6 years straight, okay? But this is a bearing that cannot be greased on this particular motor. It's not a very big blower, it's not a very big motor. So it's gonna be actually a fairly easy swap. But what's also really cool about this is I'm gonna be able to break it apart and show you how these work. The changeout's really, really easy for this. But if this were to fail, what would happen is I'd stop scrubbing hydrogen sulfide. So it's something that needs to be able to stay on all the time. With that, I'm gonna throw my GoPro on and we're gonna swap this puppy out. So first things first, here's my new blower. If you look here, this is the part that's gonna sit inside the scrubber, okay? This is gonna have the muffler fan coming off of it, but I need to remove this flange. And as you can see, actually let me move it this way. If you look in there, I don't know if the camera's picking up, but you see these bolts coming through? I'm gonna have to remove them from right there. So let me get this off real quick. Okay, wiring looks pretty simple. This is a 110 volt setup. It's about as basic as it gets. It's slightly more complicated than wiring a light switch because of these wires. Before I tell you what I'm gonna do, just if you're not comfortable or aren't experienced with wiring things up, don't do that. Get a trained professional to help you. So anyway, yeah. There's our low voltage is the 3 wires, 1, 3, and 8 should be connected right here. And then 4, 5, and 2 are gonna be connected right here. And I just looked at the other one. I'm gonna land the hot on this cluster and the common on this cluster. And then we're gonna ground it right there. So I won't film that because it's so simple. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get that swapped out. In terms of swapping it, this is about as easy as it gets. I've got a set screw here I'm gonna loosen. Okay, and I've got a set screw on the bottom somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I need to get a wrench for that one. We're gonna loosen this. I've already loosened the other one. We're gonna pull this off, and we're gonna pull this off, and then we're gonna just put it back into place and wire it up. Okay, so I just fired it back up. You hear how loud that is? I'm gonna pull this guy out. We'll have to clean this up later. Come on, baby. All right, we'll get this set on really well. Second person might be helpful here. Okay, we're back up and running. This thing needs to be cleaned off. The next rain might do that for me, but we're all wired up and closed up, and don't mind that glorified extension cord. I mean, that's really what it is. It's outdoor rated, and we're gonna be actually putting this on an alarm soon, and we're in that bid, we've got dedicated conduit for that. So just fear not, those of you who are out there going, hey, look at that cord. It's fine. And then, yeah, this took some doing, but I finally got it on. We're set. All of our set screws are set, and we're in there nice and solid. So now let's go break apart that other centrifugal blower, and let's get to work on what's going on inside this thing. Okay, so here we have the old blower, centrifugal blower. How I found the best approach to getting this apart for demonstration is to take the volute apart and break it in half. So I'm just gonna use these 1/2-inch tools, and we're gonna get on here. Pretty simple. I'm gonna do that a couple times, and we're gonna pop this thing open. Those of you out there are probably mechanics that take a good stock of your stuff, probably horrified watching me work. I am Sean, loser of tools and bolts. I get so focused on what I'm doing, stuff goes flying, and I'm just doing my thing like widgets on an assembly line, and then I go spend a half hour looking for the stuff that just went flying all over the place. I know there's a couple mechanics out there that work with me that drives them crazy. Okay, so I got the bolts off. This should come out in half, but it got gasket material in here holding it together. I'll get a flat bar and a hammer. I'm gonna see if I can pop this open. Okay, so I've actually already broken this loose, but I want to show you what I did here. This is just some gasket material that's like silicone-y. It's like a glue. So I just take this and give it a couple good whacks in the center, and it pops right off. You know, I could damage it, but it's probably not. And if I were to, that's my risk to take. So here's the impellers for the blower. As you can see, I want to point out how close they are. If you got a burr or something in here, it would jam it up. I've had that happen on other blowers. This one's a little bit more wide, but the newer ones they're getting, it's like really, really tight in there. So anyway, I just want to kind of show you how it works. As you can see, there's a directional arrow, okay? And when power is delivered to the motor spins. It's attached to this impeller right here. I'm guessing there's a lock nut. There's a set screw right there. I might take it off. I might take it off and show you. We'll see. But anyway, what it does is it, as the motor spins, the impeller spin, and it creates a suction through this bottom part of the volute, and it spits it out this way. So here we are back in my blower room. This centrifugal blower provides air to one of my MBR processes. And I'm just gonna go through some quick identification of this stuff with you real quick. It all starts here at the air filter. You want clean air going in. You don't want, especially with a diffuse system, you don't want particulate matter like dust going and plugging up your diffusers. It'll happen over time. So what we do is we filter out the air so it's as clean as possible coming in, the intake right here, and then this is the suction of the impeller housing, okay, the volute. And then here's your discharge. Uses the Bernoulli effect to create that suction, and it pushes it out. The motor is mounted to the casing, this volute here, and this is what's actually spinning. We can use our controls to tell it, the motor, to slow down or speed up depending on how much air we need, okay? And then it comes out this way. This is a pressure sensor, and then you've got pressure relief right here. In case it overpressurizes, it can blow out. And outside, we have a sensor that actually detects the flow going past this pipe and what's actually being delivered to the MBR. That's measured in standard cubic feet per minute, which is just a fancy way of saying cubic feet per minute, okay? If you're taking an exam, SCFM and CFM are the same thing for our purposes as wastewater operators. So now that we kind of have an idea of what blowers look like and what they're doing in a wastewater plant, let's head over to the whiteboard and tackle that math problem. Welcome to the math segment of this video. We are going to be doing a grade 5 level math problem. For those of you in other states, this would be your highest level exam, thinking like a Class A Florida, Class 1 Georgia, grade 4 Oregon. You get the idea. So before I move through this math problem, something I do want to say is blower math and pump math kind of go hand in hand. You could have a motor attached to a blower. So what I'm going to do is at the end of this video, a playlist will pop up on your screen, and it's my pump and motor playlist. I'm actually going to add this video to that playlist so that those who are studying for their higher level exams and need to know all about horsepower and all these things can see how a motor would relate to a blower or a motor would relate to a pump. Okay? So if you have any questions about that, go ahead and put it in the comments below, and let's work through this math problem. A complete mixed activated sludge aeration basin has an influent BOD of 200 milligrams per liter. The oxygen required to consume the BOD is 1.1 pounds oxygen per pound BOD. The oxygen transfer efficiency of the diffusers your plant is using averages 15%. The oxygen content of the air is 23.2%. The standard air density is 0.075 pounds per cubic foot. What SCFM should your blowers be set at to consume all the BOD if your influent flow rate is 6 mgd? Before we work all this out, let me just explain a couple things. I put a lot of little doodads in this math problem, right? You might be asked to solve for any one of these other variables that were given, okay? I'm asking in this math problem to solve for SCFM, but you might be given the SCFM and have to figure out one of these other things. So just be aware of that. When you get to these higher level math problems, you need to kind of know them inside and out. There's no guarantee on what you're going to be asked, okay? So with that, let's go through it. So first I'm going to figure out my pounds per day of BOD. So 6 mgd is my influent flow times 8.34 pounds in a gallon of water times 200 milligrams per liter, BOD. When I multiply that together, that gives me 10,008 pounds of BOD per day. Okay? Now, in order to figure out how much oxygen I need, all I need to do is multiply 10,008 by 1.1. Why? Because 1.1 pounds of oxygen is required per pound BOD in order to consume all of it. Okay, so 10,008 times 1.1 equals, throw that in my calculator, 11,009, if I'm rounding, 11,008.8, but 11,009 pounds of O2 per day is required to treat that much BOD. Okay, but the oxygen transfer efficiency of the diffusers, or your plant's diffuser system, it would probably be a better way to write that, averages 15%. What does that mean? So when you're putting oxygen into aeration, not all of it is actually transferred over. Most of it disperses into the atmosphere. All right. So, if you're using a coarse air diffuser, you're going to have a less efficiency than a fine air diffuser. And now they've got nano bubbles they're coming out with. So that's what I'm talking about. So what I need to do is take that number 11,009 and divide it by 0.15. And when I do that, that gives me 73,393. 73,393 pounds of oxygen per day is needed to be put into aeration, because only 15% of that 73,393 is being taken into the MLSS, because that's my transfer efficiency. What's 15% of 73,393? 11,009. That is the pounds of oxygen I need. I hope I'm explaining that clearly. If not, please ask questions down below in the comments. Okay, so I require 73,393 pounds of oxygen to be put into aeration every day, but I'm not a pure oxygen system. I'm using air from blowers. The oxygen content of the air is 23.2%. So now I kind of do the same thing. 73,393 pounds of O2 per day divided by 0.232. So 73,393 divided by 0.232 is 316,349 pounds of air is required per day. Okay? That's how much air needs to go in. But I don't use air weight when I'm setting my blower. Okay? When I'm setting my blower's hertz or whatever it is I'm doing with the blower or the plenum, I don't care how you set up your blower output, but I'm measuring it in standard cubic feet per minute, not pounds. Okay, so 316,349 pounds of air per day, I'm going to need to do a conversion. So let's go down here, 316,349 pounds air per day And I'm using the conversion factor method if you're unfamiliar with this, also called dimensional analysis. I've done a couple videos on this. I'll put those down below. This is how I write it out. Other people write it differently, but just bear with me here. Okay, the next thing I've got is 0.075 pounds of air in 1 cubic foot. Okay, that's given to me in the word problem. The standard air density is 0.075 pounds per cubic foot. So those units cancel out now. Pounds of air are gone. Now I'm left with cubic feet per day, but I need standard cubic feet per minute. So how many minutes in a day? 1,440 minutes per day. 1 day. Days cancel out. And now I just multiply across the top, divide across the bottom. There's nothing up on top to really multiply by, so we're just going to divide across the bottom. 316,349 divided by 0.075 divided by 1,440 minutes in a day gives me 2,929 SCFM, standard cubic feet per minute, okay, or cubic feet per minute, okay? When you see SCFM, they're really talking about cubic feet per minute. That is what my blower should be set on. Now, there's some assumptions being made that all diurnal flows are consistent all day. It's not varying all over the place. This is kind of how these math problems are written, okay? They can't really factor that kind of stuff in. Anyway, if you have any questions about this, please put it in the comments below. If you have anything to add, if you think I missed anything in this video and you're an expert and you want to help people out, throw it in the comments below and help people who are studying for their exams. If you got anything out of this video today, please give me a like. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you would like to, you can join as a member. At the chief operator level, we are doing member-only live streams now every month. So with that, take it easy, everybody, and we will catch you in the next video. Have a great day.